Peace must be our goal and our guide. And all that we strive for as a human family, dignity and hope, progress and prosperity, depends on peace. But peace depends on us.
Anybody who has been in the military will understand that when at war, in war, with war, you don't court-martial your soldiers or officers while the war is on. You finish the war first and then investigate the officers or soldiers who might have misbehaved or neglected duty. This is the doctrine of the institution of war. Today, Kenya is within the war and at war with an invisible enemy called COVID-19. And we must support the efforts of the frontline officials. Then we put them on trial later if there are mistakes. Remember, the country is at the weakest link now, and we cannot afford to deflect the efforts of those soldiers on the front line of fighting COVID-19. Thank you very much, viewers. That is me.
In the case of China, small reforms have been going on all the time in the political system. We fix problems here and there. But I said, problem is the United States. Your political system was a product of pre-industrial era. And I made a forecast. I said, without significant, substantial political reform, my concern is in your next elections, you will produce a leader worse off than George W. Bush.
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah.
So it was you, it was not the Russians.
Yeah. So this is the Chinese humble advice we can offer. But China is a civilizational state. I remember when Henry Kissinger wrote his famous book on China, he started with this quote. He said, my goodness, look at this China. It's different. China uses this unique language, which started 3,500 years ago. It's 1,000 years earlier than ancient Greek, 1,500 years earlier than ancient Latin. But these two European languages were dead languages. Chinese still use the same language. This line of culture and continuation of civilization, uninterrupted. So this is why we have, indeed, for instance, this whole idea of meritocracy. Why I say confident? I said with my debate with Professor Fukuyama, I said, if you look at the top leadership in China, we've just had the party's Congress, minimum requirement, 2 terms of provincial governor or similar position, which means you have to govern at least 100 million people, given the size of China, before you came to one of the top 7 positions, decision-making bodies. I said to Fukuyama, I said, with this Chinese methodology, meritocracy-based system, we can say with certainty, we can improve the system, there are problems, we can fix it. But we will not produce any leaders like George W. Bush. It's way below the Chinese bar. That's my point.
In the entire world, health, safety, preparedness of disaster are key issues in any working environment. The safety regulations of any institution or infrastructure in the world are paramount to a successful economy. We have health and safety regulations in industries, in hospitals, in schools. But what baffles us, and what baffles most of us, is that these regulations are not followed. For example, putting up a school in Kenya you need to go through several methods before you are approved to have the children, including the capability of you housing 800 school children who were actually part of this school that collapsed by itself. But what does this teach us? Teaches us that there are areas in this country that need help. One of those is that area where the school was built, just near petrol stations, near the roads, blocking everything, no sewage, no escape routes. This is the tragedy of Africa we have. In most African countries, people don't follow health and safety regulations. Most countries have no disaster preparedness mechanisms. Africa is reactive instead of being proactive. What has led us to this? Why are we behaving in a manner that we don't see? What is the building? What does it look like? Are there cracks in the building? I believe the parents who are taking children to this school, at this hour, they should reflect. And most of the parents in this country should also look at the schools and institutions where they leave their children. Some of the schools are inhabitable. Conditions are very dangerous. There's a school somewhere in Kajiado which has been condemned near the railway, and still children use it. So are we ourselves to blame for all these disasters that come to us? Whoever is the owner of this school was aware that this school will come down. Use your conscience to decide as to whether you are doing the right thing. If you are spitting on the road, if you are throwing, dirt on the road, if you are breaking things on the road, stealing the lamps, lights, stealing the signposts on the road, think of the other people who would need them. And then always be on alert to alert the authorities of what you have seen, what is in the place, because that would help. To you, you might think it's a smaller thing, but it's a very good thing for Africa. Do we have health and safety regulations in Africa, in our offices? How many of you know your health and your safety and health regulations? How many of you practice it? How many of you put buildings in exit routes? How many of you put everything in exit routes? Your bags, your sticks. Remember, when the fire catches, you need this route. So get away from it. Take care. Thank you.
Sophie Mwanyumba from the Ministry of Health and working under National Public Health Labs. Today we are visiting the quarantine sites within Nairobi, and the teams are being dispatched out to go and visit the sites. We have the forms which we are going to use to capture the information of the visitors who came from in the country. And we also have the sample collection apparatus, which we have the oropharyngeal swabs and the nasal swabs. And each person is supposed to be taken the two samples, the nasal swab and the oropharyngeal swab. We have our PPEs to protect ourselves. We have the safety gears where we are having this, and the disinfection for disinfecting the apparatus which we are going to use. The waste, we have the biohazard bags where we are going to put all the waste which is generated within the site where we are collecting the specimen. We have the biohazard bags to safeguard the environment. And with us, we have the transport media, because we have to make sure that the samples which we are going to carry, they are if the virus is there, they are viable. So we have the transport media, which we are carrying with us, and we are maintaining the cold chain because we have the cool box, which is equipped with the ice packs to maintain the cold chain of the virus of the samples as we come back. To my fellow Kenyans, I have a word for you today. Kindly stay at home. I am at work to safeguard the environment and to safeguard ourselves. The corona is real. It is real with us. So please let us stay at home as the health workers continue working and supporting the government on the guidelines which they have been put on place.
Anybody who has been in the military will understand that when at war, in war, with war, you don't court-martial your soldiers or officers while the war is on. You finish the war first and then investigate the officers or soldiers who might have misbehaved or neglected duty. This is the doctrine of the institution of war. Today, Kenya is within the war and at war with an invisible enemy called COVID-19. And we must support the efforts of the frontline officials. Then we put them on trial later if there are mistakes. Remember, the country is at the weakest link now, and we cannot afford to deflect the efforts of those soldiers on the front line of fighting COVID-19. Thank you very much, viewers. That is me.
Mi naitwa Ivy Brenda Cheretich na niko 26 years old. So I was the first patient to be confirmed with COVID-19, which is hiyo ndio disease ni iko caused by coronavirus. So I came out to the Ministry of Health and I let them know that I was concerned because I had shown symptoms of COVID-19. Na hakuna mtu alini pressure like go forward. Ni mimi tu niliamua as a responsible Kenyan nifanye nione as in juni kazi yangu as a responsible Kenyan kukuja mbele na kuambia government, I think this is what is happening and you might have to test me. Na niko happy because waliamua kunitake seriously, wakanitest and that's when wakapata niko positive. So after wakanipata niko positive, walinipea treatment, walini support sana, and niko very thankful to all of them for what they did. Kitu nataka kuwashow ni kuwa hii kitu ni manageable na ni treatable. If you think you have it, don't be afraid. Usiogope ati watu watasema nini or that ati watu watani stigmatize. Hiyo ni kitu tu, it's something that ni normal. It happens to anyone and unaweza contract. It doesn't matter, unaweza kwa young, you can contract it. You can also be a child and you can be an older person. Hii kitu ni ya anyone. It doesn't discriminate. I discriminate based on age, ati when, how many years, or gender ama ethnicity. Hii kitu ni ya kila mtu, but because we are really trying to fight hii coronavirus, it's also part of your responsibility kama Mkenya ukwe responsible na ukuje out with your story. Because mmeona mimi niko confident with my story, right? Sijaogopa anything. So that's what I would like to tell you guys now, because najua kuna patients sahi wana receive treatment and wanaweza kuwa a little overwhelmed. Najua it's normal, it happens to every patient. Nataka tu kuambia stay strong because the doctors wanajua what
afternoon, viewers. Welcome to Punchline Africa Television, broadcasting from Nairobi, the capital city of Kenya. Thank you. With me in the studio down in the capital city, in the itself, is none other than Miriam Ogutu. Good afternoon, viewers. Good afternoon, Miriam.
Good afternoon.
How are you, Miriam Ogutu, our senior anchor, senior researcher,
I'm very well.
right in Nairobi?
I'm very well, thank you, and a very good afternoon to our viewers who are watching us, wherever they're watching us from.
Thank you very much. This show is different from all the other shows. I want to teach. We want to talk about the environment, the climate, the weather, what is happening in the world, in Africa, especially in our countries which are surrounded by water, waterfalls, lakes. Is the water reclaiming its original position? Are waters reclaiming? We shall show you good examples of what it is once we finish this introduction. This is MATSANGA Africa Perspective. Today I'm touching a subject where I'm not very much an expert, but I am a participant of what happens if the landslide comes here. It will take us. You become a participant. But before we do that, Miriam has a great voice, simple voice, to tell the world, we have just received a shocker. Today, we received a shocker. 50 more people have tested positive to COVID-19. Miriam, read the figures.
Yes, indeed, the COVID-19 cases in Kenya has hit 535 after 45 new cases have been reported. Recoveries right now has risen to 182 Kenyans. I don't know if these figures...
Yes?
I don't know if these figures will have Kenyans get a bit serious in terms of observing these measures that the government has put in place, because we've seen, like we were talking in the morning, some of these measures, especially in the public service sector, has been relaxed, and so this could be a driving factor if it's not taken keen into increasing the number of coronavirus cases in the country when we thought we had it under control.
People have returned to work. The air transport, the transport, the roads, the jams are there again. It means they have come back. They are back in town again. Instead of working from home, Miriam, they are back at home. They are back in the hotels. They are back in the restaurants again. Jermaine, it is not them, it's not the government. You don't have two coffins. You have one coffin of your own. Even if you are married to X, your X will be buried alone. Let's take this serious. Let's make it a habit that we hear what the government is saying. And the government also should not play with places in these areas. What play for them, with them, what? If there are places where people are not observing a key relationship between being alive and being dead. Because there are certain people who think it is life. This thing is killing. This thing is killing people in Somalia. It has killed so many people. Hundreds and hundreds of people now, coming to 700 people. You tell me what is going on, you people. The figure is not very impressive. The figure is not very impressive. 50 record. The record number of 50 people. How many of them have contacted everybody? How many of them have bought clothes? Yeah. And that is in its need. The minister has just said. So take care. That is not the subject for today. Miriam has brought us to a figure of 535. 24 people have so far died. 182 people have so far recovered and gone home. Thank you. So let's come to our topic of this afternoon. The rising waters of Lake Victoria have disrupted business, destroyed property, displaced thousands of people living and working around the borders of this lake in Uganda and other parts of where the lake goes. In Jinja, for example, a whole island, as you can see from the island moving, that island is moving on Lake Victoria. I've sent the pictures to Stephen. Lake, not Lake Victoria. That is Lake Chog. That is Lake Chog. The inside lake, which is in Uganda. And the people had gone to build houses. If you look at, this is now Lake Victoria in Kampala. It has reclaimed its original place. Churches, hotels, guys came and took over land. Guys in Kampala telling us I have a beach, my beach. Where did you buy this beach from? Now the lake has said, no, this beach is not yours. The lake has decided to come back. The lake has said, I'm going back to my original place where I used to be. And as you can see now, these are all buildings, permanent buildings, hotels, restaurants, nightclubs. All these are in a lake zone. The lake has gone up. Over 7,000 people have been displaced since February when the water indicated. The dry lake shows according to, it came in. Miriam, you're a good reader. Go ahead from there.
Oh, well, as we speak right now, over 7,000 people have been displaced since February when water inundated the dry lake shores, according to Office of the Prime Minister there in Uganda. And the most affected communities are those on the lake shores, on the many islands in the lake, with some risking being submerged. Water has moved more than 13.12 meters ashore, the second highest on record since its rise to 13.46 meters in 1964. So since 1964, Uganda, not Kenya, the people who live around Lake Victoria have seen anything like this. The last time people experienced such a submerging of things there and the shore waters rising up there was in 1964. So Uganda's Prime Minister of State for Disaster Preparedness, Musa Echweru, said that about 1,000 people living on such islands have been relocated. And of course, property worth millions of shillings in Entebbe and Jinja in Uganda, in Kenya's Kisumu, Siaya, Migori and Homa Bay and Busia have been destroyed. It is the same scenario in Mwanza, Tanzania. So we see the wrath of the lake as it goes back to reclaim its place, Doctor, is being felt in Uganda, in Kenya and also in Tanzania.
Thank you very much. As an African says, an intelligent enemy is better than a stupid friend. We are now being, let me not start laughter, because an intelligent enemy is better than a stupid friend. If you have an intelligent enemy, it's better than having a stupid friend who will not warn you. We are now being intelligent. We are not enemies of the people who have houses, who have built houses in the area. This place was the place for the lake. And our lake, Victoria, is called the lake of God, Narubale. The word is Lake Narubale. Narubale is the God inside there. The Baganda think that there's a God there. That God just came from somewhere in the middle of the whole world and put a lake there. So everybody fears that water. That deep down in the middle,
to the God,
there is a place when you go around Lake Victoria, in the middle, you feel that you are going down.
Oh, really?
That there is, yeah, have you been, yeah.
No.
There are certain places where ships don't go.
Okay.
These ships have to use routes. These ships have to use routes. You see, the entire Lake of Victoria is on a mountain. Did you know that? It's on top of a mountain. Uganda is almost 14,000 feet above sea level. The Pearl of Africa, if you live from Mombasa, you are climbing. You might think you are driving in a valley. There's no valley. You are climbing. So God placed this lake on a mountain from nowhere. It is like a river Zambezi. It cuts through from Atlantic Ocean across to Indian Ocean. If you look at the map of Africa and see the mountains of Zimbabwe, of Angola, of Namibia, of Mozambique, especially the Beira one, the last trip towards the Indian Ocean. Oh my God, you can't believe how God created a river to pass through this rough terrain until it delivers the water at the sea, at the ocean, in Indian Ocean. Likewise, Lake Victoria also is on top of the mountain. It's on top. It's not a valley. To some people, it looks like it's a valley. It's not. Uganda is on top. By those who have studied geography, you can see from Mombasa to Uganda is about 1,100 feet. Mount Elgon is 14,000 feet. Uganda is about 10,000 above. The lake is standing on something. Ships don't pass certain areas. So the lake is coming back now to reclaim. You have seen the pictures in Uganda. It is not taking any passengers on board. If you are still there, it will take you. But what causes people to go to the extent of building on the beaches, on the place, on a swamp place, reclaimed? Hotels in Kampala have mushroomed on the swamps, and the government watches. Now, when these people are in this dire situation, the same people, Miriam, call government's idea. Government's idea. Government anakusaidia alikwambia enda ingilia the lake. Did the government tell you to go and fight the lake? Look at that. There you are. The map is there. We are not talking, we want people who are listening to us to understand. So Miriam, proceed.
Right, and as of Monday, April 27th, heavy rains have resulted in flooding and landslide affecting the regions of Arusha and Kilimanjaro since Friday, April 24th. In the Arumeru district's Arusha region, at least 2 people were killed, while 50 houses were destroyed and several roads blocked. Around 2,700 people are currently displaced across the Kilimanjaro region, along the significant infrastructural damage. And in Kenya, floods from backflows from lake and rivers bursting their banks across the country have killed 169 people and displaced several others, as well as bridges washed away, disruption, commerce, and travel. And of course, we've seen what has been happening, of course, in the Western Kenya with the River Nzoia that has burst its banks. So, Doctor, a very important point there that you have raised. we've seen some development being made even in places where we shouldn't be seeing any kind of structure at all, in the beaches and very close to the lake, and even when you go to Mombasa, very close to the sea. Some of the land that is supposed to be left, to the waters, but you see it's encroachment of human activities there, and now people are forced to move, and a lot of families don't even have homes anymore. The lake is reclaiming back its space, and so as the sea and other rivers across the region, because of this heavy downpour that we have been experiencing in this region. So moving forward, what could be a lasting solution to this? Like in Kenya, families in Kenya, in the western part of the country, about 1,800 families have been displaced. Moving forward, can we find a permanent solution to these people? Can they move elsewhere?
I think the most important thing is when you see the danger, you move elsewhere. Get out and ask, go to the higher. But then, in some places, if you go higher, the landslide also comes.
So
that's why
you can't win against nature, right?
Let me tell you, Miriam.
Yes.
In Africa, God has been very kind to us.
He has been. That is very true. Amen.
But we do things which are very, very bad.
Mm-hmm. Out of order.
We eat the money of the dams. We go and build to fight with the ocean. That you want to build a hotel and the people see it is on a floating Indian Ocean. Una claim Indian Ocean yacht bigger than the hotels that were there before. And then you say, this is my land. So now this water, which is in the Tana River, is increasing, is pouring in Indian Ocean. One day, the water will come. And that's why for me, Mombasa, I go there and I want to live very quickly. Because one day, the water could be locked from going there. It will come. So when it comes, there is a tsunami, there is an earthquake, the hotels that are very near are not spared at all. So when you are building, please make sure that you don't encroach on the waters building. COVID-19 is there, but we must also continue to educate people on this subject of the environment. Miriam, if you can continue reading and we finish, we close the chapter. We wanted to show you those pictures.
All right.
And that is all what we wanted. If the pictures can come back for other people, that is very good for us. Continue.
Yes, indeed. I think, Doctor, this is a very important show, even as we look at other matters. Also, environment plays a big part of us being healthy as a society. If we mess up our environment and we mess up with nature, and nature can decide not to be very kind to us. So we have to leave Mau. If you're told nobody should be at Mau, we have to respect that. Because if we keep messing with nature, then look at what happens. We keep building our homes and hotels and all these things near where the lake is supposed to be, or where the sea is supposed to be, and now things like this happen, and then now it becomes very difficult for people to move along. So yes, some of the images there, I think that looks like the western part of Kenya, and I think other places that have been affected along the shores of Lake Victoria there. Indeed, I'm just hoping people there have moved into safety, because that is a distraction, and a lot of loss of lives there have been recorded also in the wake of that flooding.
Thank you very much, Miriam. I think we have done our best. We have done our best to alert the people, to listen to the meteorological department, to listen to people of rains that are going to bring havoc, to listen to the advice. It goes with the same plea that the Minister of Health has just made.
Yes.
Surely, people, we are sliding back. We are sliding back to a bad habit. We cannot have 50 people infected in a day. We are sliding back. Let's keep our manners. Let's keep ourselves out of this quagmire state. The situation is not very good. We need to change our behaviors. The only thing to get out of us and out of this environment is changing the behavior. I want to wish everybody, all of you, Miriam, she has a word, go ahead.
No. I'm through. I was just listening. I was paying attention to what you're saying, Doctor. Just continue.
Yes. I want to say, we want to thank the people of Uganda for the timely. Uganda has a full ministry with a minister, substantive minister, who looks after disaster and preparedness. Equally, Kenya, to avoid all this running up and down every day, Kenya should also put there a person in the ministry who can actually, a full minister of disaster. Don't hide this minister under devolution. That's my recommendation.
Of disaster.
I hope the president, in any future engagement, because now it has proved that Kenya needs a real lesson, a real minister who can teach people to wash hands, to keep a distance. Our mindsets are not. Some countries are easing, some countries are opening. We are now going in it. I'm telling you, Zimbabwe yesterday opened, today opened, allowed papers, allowed the cars to come in. Zimbabwe, because they have managed that thing. For us in Kenya, I'm telling you, I told you, that we might not be able to travel to some parts of the world. Utataona passport from where? Kenya. Hapana. Nobody. Some countries are going to put no boarding for certain countries. And we should not be that way. We need Kenya Airways to start flying to all places so that it flies with Kenyans to go and see what happened post-COVID. But if we go the way we are going, Miriam, we are going to fulfill the desire of World Health Organization.
and Melinda Gates, yes.
And Melinda Gates, Bill Gates.
Yes.
Melinda Gates said Africa will have dead bodies.
We'll start picking some dead bodies in our streets. Yes. All right, Doctor. Yes. Very, very well said there.
We want to take this opportunity to sanitize our hands, which I'm doing now, to put on my mask, even inside. Always do that exercise before you go out, before you touch anything new. I want to say, what a great day. What a best day of my life. I woke up not happy, but I saw flowers that shining and woke up my heart.
It is spring,
Great.
Doctor. Spring is here. Flowers are blooming. So
yes, I saw springy flowers shining very nicely. And one day I moved on the road.
No.
I saw people washing hands. I encouraged them to wash more and more.
Yes.
I saw people walking a distance from each other. I encouraged them to do more and more. I saw people sitting at home, working from home like I am. And Miriam is there, because if you had been there with my weight and the body, I would have consumed the whole studio. Yeah.
He said that, not me. So.
Me, I would, because I would take part of, I said it, because that's what the Kenyans say about me, because I defend President Uhuru Kenyatta, I write in defense of Uhuru Kenyatta. By the way, Miriam, reggae. My book is ready. Maybe by next week.
You're writing
on
a
Wednesday.
book about reggae?
No.
Ready.
The ICC.
Oh.
The documents are ready.
Okay.
And I think by next week, you might be introducing them right from where you are.
It will be a pleasure.
Also,
very well.
In defense of President Uhuru Kenyatta, I've always been there. I will be there, remain there, stay there, and write. This morning, I woke up writing at 5 a.m. on Somalia. Yeah, Niligonga. Until now, they have issued a statement. Oh, we want Kenya to come. Tunawapiga mpaka mrudi kwa meza. Mkuje kwa meza, mkae chini na sisi.
All right, Doctor, thank you so much. Thank you. We see each other tomorrow at 9 a.m. Yes.
Whoa, hold it. I'd forgotten something for you. And this is not, I was told to give it to you. Look at your phone. Can you open it up? Read one or two of them, the one you like most.
I opened the article.
The attachment, yes. The distinction between intelligent person
and having
wisdom.
Yes.
You're good to read that.
Yes.
Yes.
Number one, intelligence leads to arguments. Wisdom leads to settlements. Intelligence is power of will. Wisdom is power over will. Intelligence is heat, it burns. Wisdom is warmth, it comforts. Intelligence is pursuit of knowledge, it tries the seeker. Wisdom is pursuit of truth, inspires the seeker. Intelligence is holding on, wisdom is letting go. Intelligence leads you, wisdom guides you. An intelligent man thinks he knows everything. A wise man knows there is still something to learn. An intelligent man always tries to prove his point. A wise man always knows there's no point. Number 9, an intelligent man freely gives unsolicited advice. A wise man keeps his counsel until all options are considered. An intelligent man understands what is being said. A wise man understands what is left unsaid. An intelligent man speaks when he has to say something. A wise man speaks when he has something to say. An intelligent man sees everything as relative. A wise man sees everything as related. An intelligent man tries to control the mass flow. A wise man navigates the mass flow. An intelligent man preaches. A wise man preaches. Intelligence is good, but wisdom achieves better results. May we continue to grow in wisdom. I think I've heard that somewhere. Can't remember where, but yes. Yes.
Yeah. That is from Talking from the Fence by Dr. MATSANGA. Good research. You research. That's it. I put it there. Intelligence leads to arguments. Yeah. Very intelligent academically argument. Which one touched you most as we close down?
I think
like
an intelligent man tries to talk when
when he's already judged.
She's talking, but a wise man knows when to talk, I think. Yeah. Yeah.
Thank you very much. It is I knew you were going to go for that. Summarizes the current situation in the Jubilee Party.
Yes.
Bye-bye.
All right. Thank you so much. We'll see you tomorrow, 9 a.m.
You have understood the Jubilee Party?
Yes.
Today, I also want to point out the cumulative distribution of in some 3 key areas. The first one is Eastleigh. The 29 cases that we have had which are from Nairobi are all from Eastleigh. That means that as we speak, There are 63 cases within the Isli area alone. That tells you then that there is community spread happening within Nairobi, specifically in the area of Isli. This comes out of the result of mass testing in that area within the last 24 hours. Kawangware continues also to be an area of concern, and there are 24 in that area. And then in Mombasa, as the trend, you have been hearing the trend in Mombasa, in Old Town, in Mombasa Old Town alone, we now have 39 cases. Fellow Kenyans, this tells us that in those areas, in the area of Kawangware, in the area of Isli, in the area of Old Town Mombasa, that we need to take action in those particular areas. And we are in the process today of consultation with the respective authorities in those counties so that we can determine what action we are going to take.